Welcome to season 2 of The Gab, a Central New Jersey Network live show production. If you like this content, go to our Facebook page at CNGN TV. Put into the comment box where you are watching from. Share this link with someone you love, a friend, a family, a coworker, or simply give us a thumbs up or heart. I am Gabby Johnson, CEO of Your Town Tube and FitFab and WellTube. I am here today with our recurring host, Ty Robinson, financial partner at Edward Johnson, and of course, my beautiful co-host, Melissa Tenzer, CEO of Just From Success, philanthropist, and fashion designer consultant. Melissa?
Welcome to the show, everyone. We have such a great show in store for you today. We have Carol Lipson from Hopewell Valley Arts Council, and she's going to talk about some pumpkin carving, some artists she has, and big events that are coming up. But we want to first start and talk a little bit about the Hurricane Ian that is affecting all the Floridians, and with 111 people already passing and, the count is not done. We want to talk about some of the disaster relief that's going on. We have the American Red Cross of New Jersey here, and we have Kim Getz as our guest here, and we want to find out from you everything that you're in New Jersey, but everything that you're doing for Hurricane Ian to be able to help the people with the relief over there in Florida and the surrounding areas. Tell us a little bit about the work that you do.
Oh, thank you so much, Melissa, and everyone for having us today. I think that when we in New Jersey have looked at, what's happening in Florida, it strikes a nerve, right? Florida's not that far away for many of us. We have loved ones, we have neighbors who know someone there. We have family memories, on those beaches. And I think we all think back to some of the disasters that we've faced. And so we understand, there's a sense of understanding. Certainly the American Red Cross is active on the ground in Florida. It takes a village
It sure does.
to support people. So the Red Cross is one of many organizations and partners that are providing relief. I'm so proud to say that 32 members of our amazing New Jersey workforce are on the ground in Florida right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So one of the things that was so scary, because like you say, everyone has a friend, a family, or somebody down in Florida. And my husband has a lot of family down in Florida. And one of the scary things was that we weren't able to really be in communication with them. We were texting, calling, and it was no answer. But what touched me the most was really that people that just killed themselves after the event because they lost everything.
That is terrible.
It is terrible and very sad. My prayers to all. But to come back to what the Red Cross do, let us know a little bit, how we can prevent. What are the tools or, things like that?
Sure. No. And, you raised such a strong point. I think when we can see these things happening, but we might not understand intimately what's happening for each individual household. So there's a few things. I mean, there's a preparedness side. It's how do we prepare ourselves so that in the event of a disaster like that, how will we rise above? How will we stay safe? How will we protect our loved ones? And then there's the relief side. How do you access relief? How do you know what's going to happen and what to expect? So first and foremost, know that there are amazing people that are on the ground in Florida right now. There are people that I know and love from New Jersey and so many others. And they're loving on those people right now. So much of what we're doing is mass care, which means we are operating and supporting partner-led shelters. So when there are people who have nowhere else to go, they're staying with us. And they're receiving a lot of wraparound care. So disaster health and disaster mental health services.
Mental health is an important one.
It absolutely is, and everyone who's there has experienced some form of trauma.
Yes.
And they're feeling rather overwhelmed. So we want to help them.
Right.
We have skilled professionals who are volunteering their time to do that kind of work.
Right.
We're feeding people.
So say, what are the top, what are the
know?
top 3 needs I was going to ask you over there in Florida that you're helping with?
Sure.
Is it, food? Is it tell us what the top
Counseling.
three
Sure.
counseling.
So some of the key things that the Red Cross is doing on the ground, we're sheltering individuals.
Mhm.
Great.
Okay. We're
Mhm.
taking care
That's
of them
excellent.
in a number of ways that are as unique to them and their
Mhm.
individual needs are
Mhm.
as they each are. We are feeding people.
Mhm.
So we have emergency response vehicles and we partner with organizations who really stand up these massive kitchens and they cook and prepare safely the food. And we are feeding over 100,000 meals a day.
Wow.
Wow.
They're the
So we're
kind of
taking-
numbers,
That's
they're the kind of
fantastic.
outcomes we like to hear, and the
Yeah.
audience is so proud to
Absolutely.
hear those kind of outcomes. You're
Yeah.
getting to it. Yes,
our volunteers are
absolutely. That's
driving
massive.
Our emergency response vehicles through those neighborhoods and going door to door and bringing people hot meals and emergency relief supplies. So think about all the bleach and the gloves and the tarps and the mops that you need to clean out your house.
And think of it
Yeah.
without the internet, right? I mean, that's the crazy part, is to be able to get in touch with your loved ones. Like Gabby said, I heard
Yeah.
something this morning about Elon Musk is going to do something for Florida. It just got approved from the governor for him to be able to bring in some of his tools so that people can get internet quicker, which is amazing, because everybody's coming in to help at that particular point. So
And it's also
Communication's
the concern,
key.
is also the concern because, I remember at one point in my life, we did some things when I was in Europe, for Africa through the Red Cross. But then it was a concern. And I think this is also a concern right now today about, how much is my support
Mhm.
if I gift
Mhm.
Red Cross,
Yeah.
go really where it needs to go.
right, there's some scams out there that
Yeah.
people don't know where to donate, right?
Mhm.
That's a great
Right?
question, because that's one of the things that comes up
Mhm.
in certain communities that I know, and they're like, why Red Cross versus
Sure.
maybe some local places? So what would you say to that? Like, why you instead of
And
some
does
local?
our small amount that we donate, does it make a difference?
Yeah.
Every dollar counts, so it does. So tell us a little bit about the scams and then how every
Sure.
dollar counts.
Well, there's a few things to pick apart here, and I think they're really important, stories to tell. First, unfortunately, there are people that are going to take advantage of situations.
In every situation.
And it's difficult. I can assure you there's more people out there trying to provide good relief services than there are
Absolutely.
people that are, trying to take advantage of a situation. So I like to hang on
Right.
that. The Red Cross is a local organization. So it's important. We are big. Okay. So we do
Yes.
operate in every state. There are Red Cross organizations across the world. So it's an important network. But very much so, there are Red Crossers who are in Florida who are impacted, and some of folks from across the country are actually going in to support them in their time of need. Just as when we have a disaster, even just last year after the remnants of Ida and Henri came through, we had, Red Crossers from all over the country come to our aid here in New Jersey. So we are very much a local organization, and we are very careful and can speak with integrity to making sure that if you've designated your gift to support Ian relief, those funds will stay in that community through the relief
Excellent.
and the recovery that's going to happen there. So we are reliant on generous contributions and our amazing volunteer workforce, which is 90% volunteers at the Red Cross. So when you see those folks out in those vests,
Right.
they're volunteers who've left their home to help.
So,
I have a question for you, actually, Ty, and you probably have a question
I
for
do.
her. But my question is, like, when you have a disaster like this, what is the financial impact, or even maybe something like that?
That insurance maybe doesn't cover some of the homes and some of the damage because they didn't have the right type of flood insurance, and how that financially impacts people.
well, it could be a major issue for some families. That's why in financial planning, we emphasize so much about having a personal emergency fund
Yeah.
for things like this. I know we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of Sandy, which impacted all of us here in Jersey. And I recall my family and I were out of our home for a week. And luckily we had an emergency fund, but not only that, we got additional help from my firm, which found us a place to stay. Because if you remember, during that time, all the hotels were flooded. There were places that you couldn't get to. And so it was difficult. So having an emergency fund is extremely important. And then knowing that, organizations like this exist. I'm so happy, Kim, that you mentioned that you are a local resource. And so I say I'm very happy about that, because most of the time when you hear Red Cross, you're just thinking this huge,
Yeah.
maybe
Huge.
just too large to really care. But
Mhm.
you and I were talking a little earlier, and you're just you're in central
Central
Jersey. There's tell us about that, like where you are, and are there others in
Yeah,
New
sure.
Jersey?
Some local work that you do. Would be
Yeah,
good to hear about
absolutely.
as well.
Sure. Well, the New Jersey region is a region of 50 regions across the United States. And we each have the same fundamental mission that we deliver. We have 5 lines of service. We're helping military families. We're helping active duty and veterans. We're helping in our blood services department. So we have a whole host of programs that we do every day. And in central New Jersey, that's the 7 central counties of the great state of New Jersey that, volunteers here help our neighbors. And we train volunteers. So we want very much when the skies are blue and the sun is shining that people take time to prepare.
Yes.
You've kind of hit on that a little bit, and to think about ways that you can help your community. One way is to get involved with the Red Cross or other great organizations and be trained and be ready. So when the next thing happens, you could be one of those folks on the ground.
Volunteerism is key.
It is.
Small organizations, small but mighty.
It is.
And of course, Kim, to do that, you do have an app actually that
Yes, we
helps
do.
people.
Yeah.
Tell
We
us
do.
a little bit about that.
Sure. So, all things technology, and the Red Cross is certainly one that has done a good job, I think, of bringing really resourceful tools to our mobile devices and our tablets. So if you search in the mobile app marketplace or however you download your app on your device, you can look American Red Cross. We have one app called Emergency. This is a great app that kind of sits alongside some of those other wonderful weather apps that we all have.
Oh, that's great.
And I have them too. Don't get me wrong. I have all of them.
After the show.
Yeah.
We're thinking the same
The
thing.
emergency app is one of the key interests and differences is that it will allow you to track people outside of your own community. So instead of just pushing
wow.
notifications to where you are, you could track your child that's staying in college, your parents in a different state or a zip code. So you can
that's
sort of
what I
keep track.
needed.
Amazing.
Mhm.
I need
That's
that for
what
my
I
daughter
needed.
goes off to
Helpful.
college.
Exactly. Yeah.
Family in Florida, that would
Absolutely.
be very helpful
But
to know that.
but do you use it only when the weather is bad, or
No.
All the time. You can use it every day if you want, right? Keep up with what's going on. 'Cause there's always something
could.
going on. There's always disasters
Yeah.
if you want to keep up. And,
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it is full of preparedness information and great
That's
tips
what you need.
Right.
for before, during, and after an emergency. So it's not just weather emergencies, right? But if you happen to arrive home and something's going on in your neighborhood, you might find really resourceful and good tools and tips that are accessible through that app to get you through and make sure that you stay safe. So it's a good thing to have on your phone. We also
Yes.
have a first aid app and a number of other great resources out
Right.
there.
That's
yeah,
you make a really good point. I know, like in most households, me having children, I'm sure others have children, that you always know you should have a first aid kit, but not necessarily know you should have
And in
an
your car,
emergency
too.
kit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
emergency
right in your
kit.
car,
In
you
your
have an
car.
emergency
water
kit,
in the basement,
and
all
you
the
have
things
it
that
in
you
your
need to
house,
prepare.
but you don't necessarily always have that emergency kit, right? Like
That's
you
right.
can have band-aids and things like that, ointment for first aid, but what if there's something bigger and you gotta kind of get out? You're saying that app will give you kind of tips and pointers on what to do.
Yeah,
I think
well,
we
and
all can be prepared. I
It'll
think
give you a
that's
good
excellent.
list to start your own go kit and evacuation plan, as well as if you had to shelter in place.
So let
Yeah,
me
excellent.
like
Yeah,
we
that's amazing.
just went through a devastation a few years ago, and so what should I have in my car? I want to know right
Yeah,
now.
because with the hurricanes, you can actually get caught in floods, and that's the biggest part because you never
Like,
see how deep
give
it
me
is. What
three
can we do?
things, or give our viewers three things in
Sure.
case they're not going to the app.
Sure. Yeah. Well, download the app.
today.
Yeah,
There's more
Download the app. There's
things.
more information that you need.
No, but I think it's really important to think about what you uniquely need in your household. So if you have children, what do your kids need, right? Is it diapers? Is it first aid equipment? Do you need medical resources? Do you have prescriptions and do you have extras on hand? Cash is quite important in times of disaster to have in your kit. And copies of your important documents. Those are
Wow.
some key things outside of nutrition and water and those types of things. Batteries, battery operated lanterns and flashlights
I have
and a
both of
hand
those
crank
all over
radio.
the house.
Yeah. Don't use candles.
Yeah.
I should say that during making sure that we don't have a home fire, because that's just another
Right.
disaster in your time of need. So
Right.
You know what's an interesting thing too, when you're driving, I always think about that, how a hurricane or a flood, something can happen. And when I go over, believe it or not, when I go over a bridge, I always roll down my windows. And one time years ago, I was in a flood, and as soon as the flood water started to come, I opened up my moonroof, and I actually had to be rescued out of my moonroof.
Wow.
And as the car was breaking down, because it's electronic, you can't get out. And my fear is that you'll be locked in the car. So that's a tip for
whoa.
people that
Wow.
anytime I go over any bridge, I roll down my windows fully down so that if something happens and I go into the water, I can get out the windows.
Mhm.
And everyone in the car is me, why are you doing that? It's kind of it's raining out. Roll them right down. Moonroof is back,
It's
and
a
I don't care if I
scary
get yeah, it's a scary
That's a good
situation.
tip.
So that's a tip
Wow.
for everybody. Like if you're
Yeah.
going into the
Wow.
flood,
Good.
just roll it down if you have a
Yeah.
moonroof, because I got
Yeah.
rescued
I
out of
always
the
keep
moonroof.
a blanket in my car.
Yeah, do you? I do too. My beach blanket stays all year round in the back
It's
of my
not
car.
a beach blanket. It's actually a nice warm blanket.
Well, that's
Like a
one
beach
of the
blanket.
three
That'll
things.
do. Yeah.
That's
One
one
of
of
the three
your
things.
three.
Definitely.
That's it. Absolutely.
you're ready to go.
Yeah,
No,
ready
but
to go.
it's important, and you never want to drive through floodwaters, right? So you see that little adage, turn
Yeah.
around, don't drown. It's serious,
It
right?
is
You can't
serious,
go
Yeah.
through
But
water.
you
can't
can.
tell
It's
sometimes.
it's
so many
amazing.
times go in the middle lane,
Yep.
right? You have to
Yep.
go in that middle lane and try to avoid
Yep.
it. So.
No.
So in our area, of course, coming back to New Jersey, what are the things that we should be aware of?
Well, I think it's important to know what kinds of disasters are likely in our area. You know, we know that with climate being what it is and some of the changes, storms are more intense. Just last summer, I mean, 8 inches of rain and a major tornado in South
Right.
Jersey.
Yes.
These are
yeah.
things that I think most of us maybe
I was
What happened
driving
somewhere
and
else?
looking at the tornado
It's
in the
never
back.
going to
you
happen
know,
here.
Oh my
That's what you
God.
think, right?
Sure. So having things like the emergency app downloaded and taking some precautions and thinking about what your family might need is very important. Staying aware and alert and staying connected to information.
Mhm.
If you're told to
It's
evacuate,
huge.
please evacuate and find others who will help you, like the American Red Cross, if you don't have the funds or the means to do so,
Mhm.
and come out to an evacuation
Yeah.
shelter.
Yeah.
You know, take care of yourself first.
Mhm.
Always is key and important. And know
Yes.
that there are so many great helpers out there who
That
will
is
come to your
true.
aid and help you, first responders, American Red Cross volunteers, and so many other organizations.
I think that's key is stay alert and aware. People think sometimes the news, the meteorologists are exaggerating what's going on, but really look at a couple different stations, look at your app and be aware. So people a couple years ago were starting to disregard it. And now I feel like there's more accuracy because like you said, the apps and other resources, but being aware of what's going on in that day when you're leaving your house is so important.
It is.
It's so
Very
important to
important.
save yourself if something does happen.
Yes.
I have a personal question.
Okay.
Where did your passion for the Red Cross come?
Well, I felt sort of a sense of connection when I started. I've been at the Red Cross 10 years. I'm so proud to have served this organization.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's a
you.
long time.
It is. And you know what's so interesting? I find so many other people who found that passion in the Red Cross and are longtime Red Crossers, volunteers, and some of our staff members. And so, you know, I know family members who've received Red Cross blood donations in cancer treatment. And I know that the value of those kinds of resources exists. And I've seen the good work of our volunteers in action. You know, I've seen our volunteers giving meals to folks who are cleaning out the contents of their house and all of their belongings are on the curb. And so I see that neighbor helping neighbor situation. So I see the good that's there and I'm quite passionate about
That's
it.
amazing. I've seen
Thank
a
you.
lot of
Excellent.
the volunteers from your organization, and they probably have had services from you in a lot of cases. Once you receive something, you're so grateful and you want to give back and volunteer. So great work in 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
amazing
And I'm a
accomplishment.
donor too.
Thank
I,
you.
I donate blood all the time.
I
Oh,
appreciate
that's
it.
Yeah.
awesome. And
Excellent.
on that, then how
Can others be giving?
Sure.
Mhm.
So I think there's main ways that you could contribute to the American Red Cross. Blood donation. Thank you so much. You can go on redcrossblood.org and find a opportunity to give blood near you. And certainly you can ask any of the questions you need to. There's a lot of great question and answer online if you have questions about your eligibility or what to expect. You can save people's lives by doing it. You could donate your time. So redcross.org has a great website overview of all different volunteer opportunities. We talked a lot about disaster relief today, but there are a lot of other opportunities to get involved. And so we'd love your experience and your passion to come out and support your neighbors. And of course, a monetary contribution.
Those financial contributions are what powers those volunteers to get out there and serve people those meals and to care for them and support them with all kinds of different individual assistance and whatever that looks like. And every donation matters. So we appreciate
Every
it.
dollar matters.
It does.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
Well
Yeah.
said.
And,
That is right.
and you don't have to wait. That's the one thing. The three things you just mentioned, that you can donate blood, time, and money. You don't have to wait for a disaster to do any
No.
of those. You
You're
can
always
do them right
prepping.
now.
Absolutely.
So I think that's important for people to realize as well.
It is. Thank you. Yeah.
Is there a new vision or a next step for the Red Cross?
Well, I think what I've learned is that the Red Cross, so we're over 140 years old. So we're kind of weaved into the fabric of this country, which is exciting.
Mhm.
We consistently have changed. And it's important for organizations to shift and change. I mean, we saw that through COVID, certainly, how we perform our important mission. And I think we'll continue to look at some of these, or I would say some of the vulnerable populations to disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Some areas of our country are more disaster prone than
Absolutely.
others. And we want to make sure that we're providing meaningful service to people who might be displaced more than once,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you know, from a disaster. And we're seeing that happen. So we are absolutely looking at ways we can strategize and build out, you know, our disaster relief operation to be meaningful.
And that's
Mhm.
absolutely right. In
Excellent.
Florida, it could happen. There's 127,000 households. So, I mean, that could happen to them time and time again in Florida. So good work that you're doing in the
Mhm.
community
Yeah.
and in Florida.
Excellent.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Is there locally something that the Red Cross really focuses on their efforts?
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, we have 5 lines of service.
Mhm.
So when we think about the mission, it's so broad. And in each of those capacities, we have volunteers who drive so fast in their lane, you know, and are serving their mission. And so one of the things that I think is quite important is building resiliency here in New Jersey, especially on a beautiful day like today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a gem
It is.
outside,
Yes.
right?
It
It
is,
is what October should be bringing us. And so I think it's so important to make sure that we're talking about preparedness and
Mhm.
building those kits and signing up to be, you know, volunteers and being trained to
Mhm.
support when things are calm. We call it blue sky,
Yes.
and
Yes.
very much so the case today.
Yes.
So, you know, taking time out to prepare your household is really
Right.
something that we are passionate about.
So, Kim,
Excellent.
were you with the Red Cross when Sandy? So, I'm assuming you were
Yeah, I
with that
was.
disaster.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sandy was just unbelievable. You know, I had a beach house during the time in LBI, and I had sold it right before Sandy. I sold it in September, and then October 2012, it hit. Sandy hit, and the house was demolished. And because of the people that bought the house from me didn't have the right insurance, it was their second
Yeah.
home. They didn't have the coverage. So, you know, talk to us a little bit about, you know, Sandy and some of the efforts that you did then, and you know what you see upcoming.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, Sandy, well, geez, we all have Sandy stories.
Yes,
Right.
oh, yes.
Um,
You
I
said
think,
one earlier, Ty.
you know,
It's just
everyone does.
unbelievable.
And I think that's what makes many of us feel for Floridians right now.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
some of those photography, you know, of the boats and things on highways. I mean, we saw that here in New Jersey.
Yes.
So we know that kind of
Unbelievable
infrastructure
disaster.
damage. We know that kind of property loss and loss of life. We've experienced that intimately here in New Jersey. And so, you know, I think we've all had lessons learned about what we should or shouldn't do. And we don't want to become complacent. So I think that's a really important piece. It has been 10 years. And we know
It has
that
been.
that floods could happen from remnants of hurricanes, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
that happened here last year. So for some folks, they don't have to think back 10 years for,
Mm-hmm.
you know, these kinds of situations. They, you know, happened a year ago to
Right,
them in New Jersey.
absolutely.
And so just making sure that we're continuously prepared and that we're, you know, kind of making sure folks have the resources that they need and know that disaster relief from the Red Cross is free and available to everyone is really important. We want to continue to build trust in those communities and make sure
Yes.
people seek the help that they need.
So
Yeah.
what happened to those people that really did lose everything during Sandy and the involvement of the Red Cross? Are those people now back on track with their life, or is there still a percentage of
Good
people?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to
articulate or get numbers
Right.
wrong. So I'm not going to speak too much to that, but I think everyone's path to recovery has been different.
It has been.
You know, there's been very unique circumstances, and some folks have recovered well,
Mhm.
and some folks I think are still working on that. And
Yeah.
we've
Wow.
see it, right? There are there are neighborhoods that'll just never quite be the same.
Yes.
Right.
And I
Some
think
have
that is the
Absolutely.
circumstance.
No, I think, like we said,
Mhm.
if somebody has a second home and they're out on the stilt, some people recovered and some people
Yeah.
never recover, and that
Yeah.
impacts their credit score and everything that they do with
It
the
does.
regular home if they
Yes,
have to
It does.
go bankrupt because they can't
Mhm.
afford that second luxury
Yeah,
home that they
yeah.
had, which is a shame.
Yeah,
Mm.
it is. And you know, I think the Red Cross is here to support.
Mhm.
And you know, we provide recovery. Thanks so
Mhm.
much to the generosity of donors who supported
Yes.
us in Sandy. We're
Yes.
able to keep a number of programs and recovery efforts here
Mhm.
in New Jersey that we were really proud to support.
Kim, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us. Give us one more time your website
Absolutely.
so we can connect.
Thank you. You can visit us at redcross.org. And from that website, you'll be able to click on any of the features you're interested in learning more about.
Thank you for being
We
here,
appreciate
Kim. We
it so
really
much.
appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the
Thank
great
you.
information.
Thank you.
I am here with Paula Flory. Hello, beautiful. We just came into her van and we're talking all about Move Over breast cancer and how women get ahead of themselves and work with Paula to gain their confidence. Paula, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Move Over Breast Cancer is a fully mobile breast cancer support organization bringing programs and services free of charge directly to the doorsteps of individuals who are fighting cancer. We try to make it a great day, even through the darkness.
Yeah, but now we have with us Joseph Olsley, our recurring host. If you have missed anything from this show, please go to our Facebook page at The Gab Show New Jersey, or follow us on Instagram and you can see all the tidbits that you have missed, or follow us at CNJN TV Facebook page. So we just talk about amazing things. And Melissa, you still have like a little story to share with us.
I wasn't over Sandy yet. I was trying to get it in there. So during Sandy, I told you about the beach house that we sold, but Halloween was canceled. If you guys remember, in PA, New Jersey, the schools were closed. My daughter was young at the time, and everyone said, we can't have Halloween. You're not allowed to walk around the neighborhoods. The school parades were canceled. So guess who had Halloween? So what happened? I had Halloween at my house, and I had hundreds of kids because I had the generator
Oh.
and I had a house with a lot of lights, and I do pumpkin carving, and it was amazing. I had over 100 kids from all the surrounding
Wow.
areas
That's
come,
great.
and their parents. And I kept getting calls saying, I heard you're having a party, you're saving Halloween.
No.
So it's one of my biggest memories because, you know, I love it.
That's
And people that I didn't even know were coming over, and we had to order more pizzas, and I made all of this food. My parents even came because they had no electricity. But it's one of the best days of my life, looking out there. We did contests for the kids, you know, everybody gets a prize type of thing, which they did. But it was one of the most amazing days that I did kind of save Halloween that year.
Nice.
And I'm proud of myself. I was
You
stressed
should be.
myself, you know, with the generator and everything going on, but it was an amazing.
For
Oh, yeah,
there you go, right
exactly.
there.
Yeah, they should do a show about
Well,
me.
let's not guess. We should digress, though. I'm going to AC with you.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. Joseph, we're so glad to have you back on the show. You
thank
came
you.
back.
Yes,
This is a good thing.
I loved it. I loved it. And
Yeah.
I'm here with my friend Ty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be here with you now.
Yeah.
Joseph,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit. So stress, you know, when we come out of things like this,
Right.
and you deal with kids and you deal with financial, you know, and you deal with a lot of ladies. So stress, give
Yeah.
us a little tidbits, wellness, and what do you do?
Well, what I do is, you know, I follow the advice. You know, social media can be damaging, but it also can actually, you know, I saw this guy's TikTok about showing up for yourself.
Oh,
Okay.
And if I have to say anything, we're all so busy. We do 12-hour work days. Now.
Yes.
There's no such thing as an 8-hour work day. We do 6-day work weeks, not 7, right? I mean, not 5. So show up for yourself.
Mhm.
Give yourself an hour. take a walk, go to the gym for 45 minutes, do some deep breathing meditation, just sit down. Really, if I have to say anything,
It's good.
show up for yourself.
That's right.
I love
think
that.
I love that,
Yeah.
Jim. My sister used to say that when people would say, I have no time to work out or relax, they would say, make an appointment with yourself. And when somebody tries to get in your schedule, you just say, I'm busy at that particular time. I can't do it. I'll do another time,
Yeah.
because it is something you need to do for yourself to relax. And you know, I'm the most relaxed person in the
Oh, yeah.
You don't see my Facebook too busy, do you?
No. But that's what this guy did. What
Yes.
he did is he said every day at a certain time, let's just say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he went to the gym. First day, 5 minutes.
It's scheduled.
Second day,
It's
5
scheduled.
minutes.
We have
It's
it.
scheduled.
Yeah.
We have it
Show up.
actually on Alexa. Alexa
excellent.
tells us, take a
Yeah.
breath, take a break,
Yeah,
take a deep breath, meditate 5 minutes.
right.
So we all stop.
Yeah,
Really?
it's fantastic. No, I don't
Yeah,
listen
we
to
should
Alexa.
start doing it.
Alexa
He
listens-
watches TikTok. He's past Alexa. He's past Alexa. He's
No,
going
but
to TikTok.
That's
Yeah.
again.
But it is a good- it is a
Every
good
day, the
idea.
same
That's
day,
a great
stop.
idea.
Ty, what do you,
Ty.
what do you do to relax? I saw you doing your leaves and gardening and that.
Yes.
What do you do to
Oh,
relax?
man.
Yard work?
That's
I know
good.
there's more.
Yeah,
That's
thank
not
you,
as
thank
relaxing.
you.
What do you do, Ty?
Actually, that is a part of my process.
Okay.
So, like, we were just talking about that earlier today, and one of the things I do is I'm a little OCD, I believe, because
you are.
I clean and I plan. So, like, one of the things that you can do to make sure that you're not stressed about what's going on, what you need to do, and how things are going to work is to just have it prepared, right? Like, just like we were saying, like plan your day the night before. So one of the things I do is I if I'm having a stressful day, I'll just clean up. I'll just organize. I'll just do something around the house. I'll cut the lawn, as you mentioned earlier, and that kind of gets my mind off of the busyness of the day and just do something that kind
Something
of
constructive
relax.
that has results.
I have another question for you because financial stress
Mhm.
is a big one, and especially right now.
Yes.
So, any tips for financial wellness and
Yeah, that's my area of expertise
Yes.
and what I love to do. One of the things I would say, two things I would say actually. The first is don't be afraid to get some help and talk things through. A lot of times I feel as a financial planner, some people are sometimes hesitant to just reach out and say, hey, I need some help. I need to try and figure this
True.
thing out.
that's true.
Don't be afraid to do that. There are plenty of places you can go to get the information that you need to kind of organize where you are and what you're doing. And then the the second thing I would say is for yourself, budget is like a 4-letter word in some people's household, but just budget is one of those things where it's not restricting you. It's just simply saying, hey, I know where everything is, where it's coming from and where it's going. And it alleviates some stress for you because you understand what's going on and not just paying and doing as it comes along.
I think the financial literacy is really important. We teach our women that no matter how much you make, you need to have a budget because the stress factor is that you're not going to be able to pay the most important bills and your lights are going to go off or you're going to get evicted or someone's going to come and take your car away. But I think the financial part of budgeting, like you said, is really crucial
It is.
to everyone, to women.
And I want to give a plug in to our CNJN TV because right now we have a show that is called The Money Thought that you can catch on CNJN TV every week. And it's actually a show that really breaks it down to easy vocabulary to any people of any age to understand how to manage their financial situation. So watch it. It's weekly. But yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think
We
that's
have a financial
Have-
literacy program.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about
Very
you,
important.
Gabby? What do you do to release stress? I think I know, but tell us. Give us some tips.
Well, I'm a yoga teacher, so this is my happy place when I go to my yoga mat and I just go there. I relax, I breathe, I ground. I pray. But one of the cool thing I like when I was researching, what are the young people do out there? And I actually got one.
Oh,
And this is the
widget
widget
ring.
ring. And the young people,
pretty.
Yeah, thank you. The young people actually use those. You remember those things that used to turn?
Rubik's cubes.
Not the no. It was a
Go
little
back too
circle.
far?
Fidget spinner.
Yeah, the
Fidget
witch's
spinner.
spin.
Yeah,
Yes,
fidget
the
Okay.
witch's.
yeah.
So it is to replace the witch's spin. So you have a
Great.
little moving portion of the ring that comes. It could be in a circle. It can be
Right.
moving
So that way,
or
if
like
someone's
this.
fidgety, they can.
So when they're fidgety, they can calm their nerves.
And do that at home. Don't do that during a job interview. And I'm all about work for it. I'm all about work for it.
And
So-
it's fashionable.
It's fashionable.
And it
That's
is
what we
fashionable.
thought about.
It's very fashionable.
So for me, like I said, I'm not a really relaxed person, and I get kicked out of all the yoga classes that I try. But I do go
I'm
to
gonna
the
work with
I know.
you, though.
I do go to the spa with my girlfriends once a
Ooh,
month. I go to the
nice.
Finger Lakes, and we do a day of spa, and I can
There you
sit still
go.
for that. But on an everyday basis, I walk my dog and I jog every day at the canal with beautiful leaves around the neighborhood where I live. So I go to the park and I just walk for miles. I can go for 6 miles in a day. I wake up
That's
at
good.
I wake up at 6:30 in the morning and I go for miles and miles. That song. I can go for miles and miles. But
That's excellent.
it's really so therapeutic. I get to see neighbors. I get to see people as I'm walking, and my dog's happy, and he's fine for the rest of the day when I come
So
home
do
at
you
5:30.
walk the dog or the dog walks you?
He in the beginning he walks me.
Okay.
In the beginning he pulls me, and then by the end he calms down,
By mile
and then I look
You gotta-
really,
you gotta have
he
the
looks
system.
really, he's well groomed, and I take him to markets and things like that. He's always he's a big hit, definitely a big hit.
Excellent.
He's an old English sheepdog. He's amazing. So
Nice.
I love
that's
that.
my stress relief.
All right. What are the things that is out there that in your community, the kids that you work with? What is out there that we know is happening for stress release?
Oh, wow.
Well, one of
Wow.
the things I kind of, I guess, alluded to when Sandy was here,
Yeah.
we were out of our home for over a week. We lost all of our food. We lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we actually got help that I didn't know was available to me from my firm. So there's resources that may be available to you that are like really personable to you. So
Mhm.
I would tell folks to maybe check with, their employer or local resources that may be able to help them to
Yeah,
kind
I-
of just talk with someone to calm.
I do like that. A lot of organizations are offering now
Yeah,
different
mental health. Yeah.
and I think that this is so important because our youth mental health is so low right now.
Yeah.
It is with
right.
social media. I believe the mental health part, but I think communication is really key too. Like my
Yes.
daughter's, she turned 18, and if she's upset about something, she can come to me. But it's really refreshing to reach out to a friend, and again, just go to the park,
Mhm.
get some coffee,
Mhm.
get something healthy to eat,
And
be
talk
able
with
to
somebody.
to talk with somebody,
That's
be able
it.
to
Talk
communicate.
somebody.
Talk with
To
someone.
Right.
have your network of individuals. I think in growing up, my daughter has these 3 friends that she's been close with
Right.
since kindergarten, and their parents are so thankful to me and to her that they're in this group, and they have other friends, and they're all
Right.
inclusive, but that they can go back and communicate when they're feeling down, when bad things are
Right.
happening in their life.
And
An outlet.
I think that's what you do with your foundation a lot when you bring those kids and they have pizza with you.
Yeah, I mean, we started. I listen. A hungry person is not an easy person to educate. So
Right.
first thing you have to do,
Do
is
is feed
Feed
them.
them.
let's get
That's
everybody
key.
fed. You don't have to eat if you're not hungry, but if you're hungry, we have the food. But
Yes.
perfect example. We have a pilot program that we're doing, and it's called Healing and Harmonizing. And from the documentary I've Been Shot, one of the young ladies came up and she said it'd be nice for young women like her,
Mhm.
just to get together and do things and talk naturally. So
Yeah.
last time was journaling. Tonight they're going to
Mhm.
do vision boards.
Nice.
And
See?
something to preoccupy your
Journaling.
mind while you're just going through whatever happened to you last time you ladies were together. And
Mhm.
and that's that's important. The arts,
Mm-hmm.
pumpkin carving's coming up soon.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Apple
do
picking.
something, do something that just takes your mind away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And whether it's going out and taking photos, carving pumpkins, painting a painting, find that, it's body, mind, and spirit.
Cleaning.
Right?
Comfortable environment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
That's nice. So you
I have
provide
Big one,
tendency to
too.
clean when I'm low
OCD,
stress.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'll tell you a
Don't have
funny
a
story
little
about
bit.
OCD.
Don't have-
Okay.
Tell us.
Yes, finally.
All right, so funny story about OCD.
We talked
right?
about that earlier.
Yeah. So anyway, the staff at the foundation knows that we have all these tables and chairs that you've been there,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes, we've been there.
All the chairs need to be in line when we leave
Oh, for
after
sure.
every program.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
That
because
sounds
when
right.
you come in the morning
Yes.
and it's a mess, your day starts off
It does.
messy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Clutters
So
your
one night I
mind.
wasn't at the
Mind.
program. My partner Kim Cody and the rest of the staff decided to move all the tables, twist all the chairs, and I'm like, oh, see, and they do that on purpose, and I'm like, no. And they sent me a photo, but they said,
No.
look
They
what we did when you're not here.
April Fool's joke.
But it was set up. But no, it's
How
it's
did
a
you
thing.
recover?
It took a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
He left and he relieved.
No, because
Yeah.
you know, Joe
Yeah.
is the one that comes in and he looks at your level and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
please fix
Making
it up."
sure
fix
you're
it
ready
up.
to
Yeah.
go. Exactly.
Right.
No, but that was it. And they were all laughing, and some of them were like, "Oh no, you're going to get me in trouble." But no, it's like you were saying.
Mhm.
Wake up the next day, prepare to be ready for the next
It is,
day.
There
and your
you go,
space is
yeah.
so beautiful. So
Yeah.
That
congratulations
sounds like a
again
great
on
staff.
that.
Congratulations.
Yes.
That they would do that.
There's some humor. There's some humor.
A lot of
to it.
humor.
There's a lot of love
It's
there.
wonderful.
Tyler,
I love that.
So I would like to say thank you to Ty Robinson. He's gonna go traveling next time we are here at the Gab, so you will see him in a few weeks. So have a safe trip. And thank you for joining us today, and all happy Thanksgiving. Or no, we'll see you before Thanksgiving anyway.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
we will.
that's right.
Thank you
Yes.
for your
All right,
insight,
thank you very
financial advice. Thank you, Ty.
And we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Peter Crowley. Many of you may remember me as the president and CEO of the Princeton Mercer Regional Chamber. Today, I am speaking to you as the vice chairman of the Central New Jersey Television Network, or CNJN, Mercer County and Central New Jersey's newest and largest community network television station. Along with a number of Mercer County business leaders, we launched CNJN last month to provide visibility with local programming, serve individuals, potential donors, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and our regional community. CNJN is carried on 4 television channels, 2 on Comcast and 2 on Verizon. We cover over 100,000 households in Mercer County. CNJN recently absorbed Princeton Community Television into our station. Our programs are streamed live on Roku Television, Apple Television, and on Fire Stick, allowing us to reach over 100 million viewers nationwide. Our shows are also carried on our website and over Facebook and Twitter. As a 501c3 nonprofit, we understand the need to gain visibility for your nonprofit organization. Working with CNJN can help you organize, promote your mission, gain volunteers and donors, and show people the important work that our nonprofit organizations are accomplishing. Whether it is you're highlighting your organization or telling your story, let CNJN be a partner with your organization to help you meet new donors and new volunteers. If you are interested in hearing more about how CNJN Television can help you gain visibility, highlight your organization, get viewer attention for your nonprofit mission, or just engage volunteers and donors, email us at info@cnjn.org or go to our website, cnjn.org, and tell us how we can support your vision and create programming that works for you. We look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gab Show. I'm Joseph Halsey, sitting with the amazing hosts Melissa and Gabs. Now we have a really, really fun segment. Carol, I'm going to let you take over because we're talking about like these amazing pumpkins being
Yes.
carved with hand tools and artists. You have to tell us about this event coming up, please.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. You know, since the pandemic, the Arts Council and all nonprofits are really struggling.
Right.
So we're thrilled to have this opportunity to tell you about our biggest fundraiser and our biggest event. So this is our 8th year, believe it or not, having this event. And we hire, the operative word there is hire, artists to come in and carve these giant pumpkins. So we feel really strongly that if we're raising money for art and artists, that the artists should get paid, because a lot of people, assume artists are going to give their talents
Time
to.
for free all the
I
time.
absolutely thought it was free.
I'm
Yes.
always.
Yeah, or give
assume
us a
that.
piece of art
Yep.
to auction off at one of our events or something.
Yeah, because artists are so
wealthy.
wealthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the pumpkins
Sure.
are amazing. So that's what's going to be a question. Like, where do you get the artists from? Because it looks like it's not just somebody in the neighborhood doing it. It's like
Yeah.
professional artists that you pay to be able to put
Absolutely.
on this amazing event.
Well, I would say probably half of the artists carvers that we have been doing it since the beginning. Because how often do you get your hands on a 150-pound pumpkin? I mean, 150-pound
100?
pumpkin, yeah, they're about this tall and about this wide. It takes
Right.
them literally all day to carve them.
Wow.
That's partly why we have to pay them, because
Right.
they have to take a day off from work.
Yes,
you know,
Oh my God.
Anyway, so they, some of them are art teachers.
Right.
Some of them are artists. Some of them are hobbyists. Some of them, one guy's a sushi chef.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yum,
Yeah,
yum.
you should see. They'll bring their different talents to,
Oh, that's
to the
amazing.
pumpkins.
Yeah, I saw a few of the arts
Mm-hmm.
on the website, by the way. Here, plug the website.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
great. www.hvartscouncil.org. And I won't give you the long URL. You can get to the tickets for
Okay.
the pumpkin carve.
So tell us the logistics of the day. So you have the pumpkin carving. What else takes place
Well,
during that day? And how do you raise money?
Yeah. So since COVID, when COVID hit, we were really struggling because we were thinking it was a festival where we had the tents lined up and people would come and they would stand in front of the
Mhm.
And of course, we weren't allowed to do that, partly because there were so many people. You know, there were a lot of restrictions. So we came up with this idea of having a drive-through. So we kind of regrouped, and we have at Woolsey Park, the township, Hopewell Township was terrific about letting us use the park. They have this driveway path that's not usually open to the public, and we have all the tents lined up along
Right.
the drive. And then you drive through in your car. It's so cute. People come with flatbed trucks, and the kids are all in the back.
Aw,
They're in their
That sounds so festive and
PJs.
fun.
Oh, it's really
Wow.
awesome.
That
They come up through the moonroof, your moonroof.
Oh, the moonroof story.
Yeah.
I think we should all go. Does anybody have a truck? We should go this year together, the Gab. Let's do it. Joseph, you have a truck. Take
No.
us. Yes.
No truck?
Yeah. So the other thing though was people really like to see the carving up close.
Yes.
Because some of
Yes.
the stuff, I mean, it's really intricate what these people do. It's amazing.
Have you ever carved a pumpkin?
Oh, I pumpkin carve and I put a light. I put inside
She
of
pumpkin
every
carve.
pumpkin.
Of course she
Of course I do.
Carves
I
them.
put a
Of course she
bulb
does.
inside of
And
every
watch
pumpkin.
Facebook. Get on
And it's
Melissa's
the
Facebook to
driveway.
watch this
So every
pumpkin.
pumpkin I carve.
You
and
might
then,
be next.
Yes, I put inside and I have an
And then-
extension cord and I put a bulb in every single pumpkin going up my driveway.
That's
And they're all
impressive.
carved and I make my
That
daughter
is
do it every
impressive.
year.
Impressive.
Even though she's 18, I will still do it this year.
So I have tried to pumpkin carve once. And it was a disaster.
How about you,
Oh.
Joseph? Have you ever?
I can't get through just cleaning out the garbage.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have to have the big knife in the beginning, right?
Let me give you a sense of what,
Yes.
what it's
Yeah,
like.
let's
That's how
do
you
that.
get in.
All right.
Yes,
So some people just surface carve.
that would be me.
And then, but here's the hard part. These pumpkins, it's
Yeah.
called oh gosh, prize winner is the name of the
Okay.
variety. The skin, the rind is 2 inches thick.
It is so thick. You can't go through
So
it.
from an artist though, you have the ability to do 3D.
Ah.
You can do all different levels. So like if you carve deeper and don't go in through all the way, the light shines up
Right.
more
Right,
and the lasts and
Never thought
lasts. So
about
you
that.
can make more
Mm.
elaborate designs.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of just digging in.
Yeah, well, but I would say someone actually called me and said, "Do you guys empty the pumpkin? Do you dig the insides out for us?"
Yes.
I'm like, "What do you think we're paying you $250 for?"
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
You have to undo your own pumpkin.
Yes. They have to do it all if they're getting paid.
And there's
Absolutely.
this one couple that comes and carves, and they collect everybody's seeds up
Right.
Okay,
because
how
the
about
seeds,
pumpkin
the seeds
Oh,
are
that's good.
big. They're the
Roasted.
size of mouse
Yeah.
ears.
Oh my God, I
Yes.
can imagine
Wow.
with a pumpkin that large.
And so they
It's
take them
just
home and they
amazing.
bake them and they
Right.
eat them and make cake and stuff.
Mhm.
But it's really a lot of fun. You'll see funny ones, you'll see scary ones. What I like the best is what we're just trying to do is inspire people
Yes.
and have fun. So if you're the kind of person who does the triangle eyes and the triangle nose, there's nothing wrong with that because at
Right.
least you're you're creating something.
Sure.
But it's fun
Like
when
your
you come.
t-shirt.
Yeah, like these. Yeah.
Yes.
But
So the
it's
typical
fun.
ones,
It's fun
right?
Yes.
when you see these young people coming and
Really
they're looking
chiseling
and their parents tell me the
Right.
next year that they tried to
Right.
do a different technique than they had never done before. And
And you
You
can
know.
go to Michael's and you can buy wigs, and there's all kinds of crafty things that you can do. The pumpkin that is not even that expensive.
yeah,
you
that's
put
true.
the wigs on 'em.
accessories.
The
I mean,
accessories.
Yeah,
That's what I do with
accessories.
mine. You know, the
And
witch's
I
wig.
can see that to be very therapeutical, to carve.
Therapeutic.
You know what I think?
Therapeutic.
Yes,
You know what would be
it
really
is.
therapeutic? The pumpkins that aren't carvable.
Yes.
Let's put a smashing station. And you can get the
Oh.
sledgehammer.
Well, we were going to
Smash
make.
it.
Have you seen those people do
Doesn't
those
sound so much
catapults?
Sosa or stress release.
It's like
They call
working out.
pumpkin chunking. Have you ever heard of pumpkin chunking?
No.
Yeah.
These guys make these big elaborate contraptions, like those big things from
Oh,
medieval times.
Wow.
Oh, and you can.
And you take them in there, and it's like a big slingshot.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that would be
We're
fun.
thinking about doing that. But
Yes.
it's expensive with pumpkins. We
Oh.
might do it with.
I'd rather
apples,
stick with
but-
the carving. So tell us what else you do at the Arts Council.
The Arts Council. Well, we've had some of you have been driving around Mercer County and may have noticed there's big cows or oxen around town. That was our first project where we had artists painting 60 artists painting life-size oxen
Right.
that were made out of fiberglass.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
and then we had
They
art
are beautiful,
spiders, which
too.
were we took the ash trees that were all dying.
Yeah.
Right.
And we turned them into artwork, and we had them on display.
Oh,
That's
And
nice.
so what
that's
we
beautiful.
really have a lot of reputation for is people like getting maps and going
Right, and
around
going
and searching
around,
around.
right.
So we've been trying to do
Yes.
things
Oh,
like
that's
that.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Next year we have a really big project. Seward Johnson, as you know, passed away
Yes.
a little over a
Grounds
year
for
ago,
Sculpture.
and we're having a celebration of his life for the whole year.
Right.
And we're
That's
going to be
amazing.
including the businesses. And we just got approval, or the Johnson family is having one of his mega statues that's 70 feet across.
Wow.
Mhm.
Is going to be in the St. Michael's Preserve in Hopewell. And then we're going to have 14 of his statues all through
Oh, I
Hopewell
would love
Valley.
to join that. He
Yeah.
was an amazing
He's a-
amazing
isn't he?
artist. And yeah, that was just
Mhm.
recent. So that's a great dedication.
Yeah.
to
So-
And it was during COVID, so nobody could really.
I know
do
that was such a
anything too
hard
much.
time for everyone.
It is important, I think, that especially into our community, like, arts and involving people doing things. And yes, it sounds a little bit silly to go to a festival that is carving pumpkin, but really at some point is where it ties up everything together about what you guys are
Absolutely,
doing.
Gabby. You
Right.
know, our byline is celebrating art in the everyday.
Right.
Like, we believe that if you're going to set your kitchen table for
Right.
dinner at night, why not make it pretty?
Yes.
I agree.
If you're
Yes.
going
Love
to
that.
if you're going
Yeah.
to build a roof on your house,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you make it do something a little more attractive?
Right.
Yeah.
So
definitely agree.
everybody has an opportunity to be I think people say, well, I'm not creative. It's a muscle. It's a muscle that you exercise.
Oh,
Yes.
I agree. Let me ask you this. I noticed on your bio that you were on the board first and then you took over as executive
Oh,
director.
yeah.
What was
I'm the last one standing of the original crew.
So what was the passion? Because a lot of times there's working boards and then there's someone that just bubbles up and has even a bigger passion. They can drive the whole organization along
Yeah.
with the board. And
Well,
that's
thank you. I would hope,
So-
yeah. Unfortunately,
Tell us about that
when we
transition.
decided to have our first ED, the COVID hit. So,
Okay. So you're
but anyway,
just like the last year
struggling.
too.
Yeah, but I've been involved with since the beginning. I was
Exactly.
in the high tech management consulting business,
Oh
and
my God.
I got to retire when I was young.
Ooh.
got lucky.
You
So
got to
I've been
follow your
Let's go
passion.
have coffee.
So I'm involved with the Philadelphia
How about
Flower
cider?
Show. Everything that I'm trying to find things to give back. A little bit of a legacy thing, I guess
Right.
you could
That's,
say.
Yes.
that's really beautiful.
Paying it
And
forward.
I moved to this area from Philadelphia 25 years ago. I didn't know a soul except my sister.
Right.
And so now the community's welcome me and I want to give something back.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I really encourage everybody to try and volunteer. Everyone is
Right.
like restaurants are having trouble getting employees.
Yes.
Nonprofits, we can't get
Of
volunteers.
course.
If we can't get
very
people to get
difficult.
paid, imagine being a volunteer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tough
Yeah.
market. It really is.
That
And
is.
it's very,
agree.
talk about your segment before, about what makes you rejuvenate and
Yeah.
volunteering
is a great way for wellness, into the path of wellness. I think is a self-satisfaction when people are able to find an institution where they can volunteer.
Right.
It does really elevate, not only your spirit, but your heart, your love, and everything else.
I like
And
to
it builds
think-
a network of friends.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm
Yes.
sure the people that volunteer for you, they're together, they're doing this
Yeah.
event, they're bonding, and they stay friends outside of
Absolutely.
the council when they're together. So that's
Yeah.
like a sense of community and friendship as well that you can get from volunteering.
Absolutely.
That is right. You have any question?
Do I have any questions? Yeah, when is the event?
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I need to know when and where to
Get
go.
your truck ready. We're in,
okay.
right?
It is at Woolsey Park, which some people don't know where that is. It's kind of near Capitol Health on the way up Washington Crossing Pennington Road. And it starts, tomorrow's carving day, Wednesday. And I
Wow.
can't believe I'm sitting here. I have so many things
So much
to do.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm like,
20 cup of
well, drinking and carving dough. Drinking and carving dough.
But the cider, right? So
Yeah, cider,
drinking
yeah.
I was
apple
talking
cider.
about coffee.
Oh.
Apple cider is what I want.
I thought you were talking about hard cider.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Not the hard cider, it's the regular apple cider.
Oh gosh. Anyway,
So yes, when is it?
It starts on Wednesday, carving day. We're doing a hybrid this year. We're going to put our toe back in the water, doing a walk around on Wednesday and Thursday, a drive through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's live music during the drive through because there's a long line, and we entertain you while you're in line. Wednesday, and Thursday, we have the New Jersey storytellers coming. We're going to be at fire pits. We have s'more
nice.
kits.
Oh,
So it's a great family event, except it's supposed to rain on Thursday.
No, it won't.
No,
Okay.
I
No,
think
right,
you'll be
thank you.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
but
come for
then you
the
have
s'mores.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anyway,
That's
right?
true. That's
Okay.
true. Could you imagine if this event had been last week?
Oh my God,
Wow.
that would be having.
That would have been
rained out. That's
Yeah.
We would have been selling pumpkins on the corner.
Yes.
Pumpkin, 150-pound pumpkin for sale. Like, oh wait, I'll take 3.
Okay.
Carol,
So
listen,
thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here with us today. We're
Thank
just
you.
very excited about the festivities that you're doing locally in the
We're going to look
community.
for you to
So-
carve.
I know.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll get it.
We're
Maybe I'll
stopping
become a
in.
volunteer.
We're stopping in for sure. So thank you, Carol,
welcome.
for joining us, and good luck with
Thank you.
the
The
project
event.
and all the other events that you have.
And we'll pray that there'll be no rain.
No,
Okay.
no,
One day,
absolutely.
I guess I should be piggy.
Guys, what an amazing show.
Another fun show.
Another
great
fun
show.
show. So if you missed any portion of it, you can watch it again at CNJN TV website on our archive under the Gab Show. And Melissa, do you want to let us know where they can follow us?
Follow us on Facebook. Follow us everywhere. The Gab is there. We have a group page that you can follow and rewatch the episodes, and then you can see us on Roku and everywhere else. But the Gab, CNJN, we're happy to have all of you watching us today and such amazing guests to enlighten us on everything going on in the community. And Joseph, thanks for coming back. We're so glad you and
Love
Ty
to be here.
returned.
Love to be
Very
here. It's
exciting.
so much
Thank you
fun.
for your insight.
So much fun.
Yeah.
And we are going to see you in 2 weeks
2
again.
weeks.
So be prepared. Joe will be here.
I'll be back.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.